You sure you're ready for this?
I'll do my best.
Your best? Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and the prom queen.
Welcome to the best soccer show. The best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go! It's JD and the Rod, America's best soccer show. We're live on a Wednesday night. We're a night podcast that is the day drinking of American soccer podcasts.
I'm still up on the West Coast.
This is true. The sun is still up on the West Coast.
And you're giving me crap for drinking soda.
I have. I was just saying before we came on, and maybe I'm very wrong. And
I believe you are.
I don't want to shame the part of America that drinks a lot of soda, because Jared Dubois is one of those people. Shout out to
whoa. You put something in there that wasn't part of our conversation. The a lot part, like I had a soda.
No, but you've said in the past on this program that you are a sugar junkie, that you eat candy and drink soda on the regular. Those things are regular things in your life. Okay,
It's not like I'm morbidly obese putting down 3 big gulps a day.
I didn't say you were morbidly obese, and I didn't say you were drinking 3 big
Look at
gulps.
the size of this can. That's a mini can.
Congratulations on paring
Either that
down.
or my hand's huge.
Maybe your hand is huge, and you're messing up.
Ask my lady.
You're gonna. You got it in while I was playing the drop for something else, so that's kind of a nice little.
That'll be a pleasure.
It's okay. There are a couple of headlines here. We're going to talk a lot about soccer tonight, as you would expect. There's NWSL news. There's MLS getting all worried about loose lips sinking league ships. We've got a nickname that we've learned about for an American soccer player that is a bombshell.
Bombshell.
In multiple ways, Jared. A bombshell.
Earth-shattering.
We're going to talk about that. But I have 2 potential headlines, and you tell me which one you want to go with.
Okay.
Number 1, both of us showed up looking fresh and clean tonight. Like, we both showed up with haircuts. Now, my question is for you. Did you get that?
Well, you got to get what's the other one before we choose a topic?
All right, you have to choose this. The other one is that I may have watched a television show that you have highly recommended in recent.
We're gonna hit both of these right off the top right now. Okay.
All right. Well, where do you want to go first?
Let's do haircut first, okay? Because let's get past the elephant in the room. If you're watching the show, both of us got haircuts. First of all, yours was done by your significant other as well.
My wife did an amazing job of my haircut. It does. It looks fantastic. Now, I'll admit.
Now, did she pull off a fade on you? Do you have a fade?
I won't call it, what you would get at a bar, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a fade. Let's call it what's the slightly less version? Like slightly less than a fade. What's next on that?
A gradient.
Okay, it's a gradient. We'll call it a gradient. But that's great. Like I'll admit that when it was happening, I was nervous. Now she was like, whatever. Click.
I decided to let go, and because here's the thing, I was content to shave my head. I was ready. Yeah. I was like, if this isn't right, we're just gonna shave the head, and so I felt like that relieves the pressure on her as well a bit. So what we decided to do is like we started trying to think maybe we'll try to do a fade, but at some point it's just like it seems like too much stress for her to pull off.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to commit to the hard part, which I've never rocked a hard part. So I would rock the hard part. And then it's like on one side, it's like a hard part. And the other side is kind of like an undercut.
Well, I will tell you that we've both gone in directions that people might say are a little young for our ages. It's the
easiest thing to pull off, dude. Like she only had to use one blade, one guard.
Oh, no, absolutely. And but like I said, I don't know how your woman did. She did a great job, but I'm saying I'm not how she felt during it. My wife was 100% confident, and I was like constantly going, "What are you doing?"
I've never been a Puerto Rican that isn't confident.
All Puerto Ricans are confident. That's news from Jared Dubois.
I mean, they are extremely confident. They're always good looking and they're always confident. I don't know what's up with that.
There you go. Yeah, they also come with other assets. Maybe we'll get into those other assets.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe there's some foreshadowing happening right here on the show. Now, while my wife gave me a haircut and I spent plenty of quality time with her over the long weekend, and we had some a socially distanced gathering with some friends of ours. I may have consumed quite a bit of alcohol, cooked out.
Decent amount my way this weekend as well.
Okay. What'd you say?
There's a decent amount of alcohol at my
Oh,
weekend as well. Like
well,
we've gotten to the point where it's like, what a cocktail can we invent with what's in the house?
well, we may have stocked up in preparation. I will tell this. The other thing about Puerto Ricans, and maybe this is just a Latino thing, maybe it's a Caribbean thing. I don't know. There is a lot of preparation that goes into any gathering. All right. So there was a total of 6 adult people at this gathering. So again,
Whoa, wait a second. Is that allowed?
yes, we were within the realms of the law, and we
Okay.
were socially distanced. We were on my deck. We had some space. People were, we weren't cozying up with one
little
another.
subtle deck flex there.
I mean, it's it is what it
I got a
is.
6-person deck with distancing.
I don't have a pool though. I don't have a smoker yet, so I went out and bought the basic grill.
What a deckhead.
You still got me. But it was like, oh, there are going to be 6 people over, and this has been a feature of the relationship since the very beginning. We'll plan something, we'll talk about how many people are coming, and then we'll buy food for triple that amount of people, because there is, and I love her, but she's very.
So how many people did you actually end up having?
There were 6 people. There were 6 adult human beings there, and one of them showed up very late because he had to work that day. So we made a ton of food for 6 people. We had a ton of alcohol, but it was amazing. Like, that's the thing. Like, how am I going to say no to more alcohol? I'm going to say no to more food that I can eat the next day. Like, why would I ever be the person to say, no, we don't need 6 bags of ice.
I've gotten to the point where I ate like lamb this weekend. Lamb has never been prepared in my house, and it was prepared this weekend. Like, it's like we're just trying stuff and seeing what happens. And
what kind of flavors did you go with for your lamb? Like
Mediterranean. We went with a Mediterranean kind of like not like tzatziki. We didn't have anything to make that, but we went with like an Israeli couscous with like and like peppers and some and cucumbers. So it was Mediterranean style.
Was this something you did? Did you cook the meat?
Yeah. So basically, we had ordered ribeye, and Walmart, as they do, they just substitute this for that, and they didn't tell us this one until we got home. So I was supposed to have ribeye, and ended up with lamb shoulder chop.
Oh, okay.
So you couldn't really. At first, we were gonna do like kebabs, but it was too many bones in it. Like, you couldn't do it. Right. So we cooked it like a steak, and it ate like a steak, and it was amazing.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I may have to go. I've never done lamb myself. I'm not sure. I have lamb stew, but I don't know if I've ever had lamb cooked like that.
Yeah, it was actually fantastic. So,
right,
that's something I didn't really do.
So she did my haircut. We had the gathering. Very nice.
Then you watched Dave.
Then I watched Dave.
Oh, you didn't watch it with her?
This is what I'm telling you. She may have peeked in a couple of times while I was starting it. It happened to be because of the long weekend. I managed to find a little bit of time that wasn't, or I managed to have a little bit of time that wasn't, occupied by a kid asking me for 8.
I did a cursory viewing first. I watched the first 2 episodes by myself to say, okay, is this worth bringing my wife in for? Will it grab her? I was like, yes, I'm bringing her in. So I wouldn't watch the first 2 episodes again with her.
Okay. By no means is my wife a prude or uncomfortable with that stuff, but it just wasn't her. It wasn't her thing. Like, I just don't think it was her thing. A little too raunchy, a little bit too much on the, I don't know.
How far did you get in the series?
I think I got to 5 or 6. Oh. So I think I finished with the concert in Philly. I think that's where I stopped. Which, it gets a little heavy right there. Like, I didn't know Gator was going to come out like that. Like, what's up with Gator? Like, who knows?
It's interesting thing about the show is that you get convinced early on it's just this funny show that's a bit like raunchy, and then it's like, oh, it takes serious beats, and it's like, whoa, I didn't think this thing was going to go this way like this, and it does that through the whole arc of the season. So those of you guys that don't know, check it out. We talked about it, I think maybe a week ago. Dave on FX. Everyone's talking about it. If you haven't heard about it yet, I'm not sure what you're doing, but I mean, there's 3 for me. Like so you got through episode 3 with the how should I say, the homogenized episode?
Homogenized.
The milk.
Oh yeah. Yes. So there was milking involved in that episode. Yeah. I remember you mentioning episode 3.
And
I watched it, and look, it's funny. I'm sticking with it. I like Dave. I think I came in with the completely wrong impression of who Little Dicky was, because maybe I wasn't on top of his shtick before this show. So I think I had a completely wrong impression of who he was. I like him as a character. I like most of the characters. It's just there are some moments where I'm like, okay, am I really bought into all of what's happening here? Like, is it really? I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring, but I think
The
it's
season.
very funny. But I think the parents are actually a highlight of the show. I think
Finish
these
the
parents are
season, and
great.
then when the season is over, I want you to go back and watch one of his music videos called Molly at the end of the season, not to the end. And then I'm interested to see what your take is on
You're
that.
my Sherpa for the Dave
Well,
journey?
because this thing, a lot of this show is based off his real life, as was his music. So I don't want to inform one thing and lead the horse before you get someplace.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Again, if anybody doesn't know what's going on here, go find it. It's on FX. Except I didn't realize FX had taken the full step towards. I watched it on Hulu, right? I watched FX on Hulu.
I mean, it goes hard.
I didn't realize it was going to go that hard.
It went really hard.
I didn't know what I was dealing with.
It's like HBO level hard.
Oh, it's that, but
it just doesn't show full
full
topless
nudity. Yeah, there's like some sneaking nudity. And by the way, when in episode 3, when his friend comes out, I literally jumped out of my seat.
Yeah,
literally jumped out of my seat when that friend came out of that closet. I was like, "What the heck is going on here?"
Yes. Okay. Yeah. We'll let you give you guys a chance to catch up. This could be our new Archer, so make sure you're watching it.
Oh my god!
Make sure that when we talk about it in the future, you can be informed. So the other thing I watched this weekend, close to a week here, I actually watched some Bundesliga this weekend.
Oh, you did?
I took it upon myself to watch both Dortmund games because I was hoping that Mr. Reyna would make. I was hoping for a start since he was scheduled the week before.
Yeah.
Didn't have appearances in both.
Yeah.
And then I watched highlights of some of the other American games, but those are the only two I made the time to actually sit down and watch.
Okay, well, so I don't know. Look, we can break down the performances. Gio Reyna had a couple of moments. He drew a foul against Bayern Munich. Maybe that wasn't exactly a foul, but he had a couple of moments. He found some pockets. I actually thought
I came away with a man crush I didn't know I was going to have.
Oh yeah, I saw you tweet about this.
Thomas Delaney is my new Superman crush. I love the way this guy plays, man. I mean, I don't know what to compare it to. He works so hard, and like I came out of these games this week and thinking like this guy, 28 years old. This is a guy MLS teams should be looking at now. Like obviously he's getting minutes for Borussia Dortmund. I mean, but he's filling in. I can't remember who he filled in, but someone got hurt, and I can't remember who he's filling in for these days. But definitely not.
Didn't have Axel Witsel in that game.
That's what it was. Yeah, and obviously they brought in Emre Can.
Emre Can.
Excuse me, Emre Can, which can play both midfield and defense. So who knows how solid his position is, but 28 years old, his style of play would fit in MLS easily.
Okay.
That work hard ethic. He's a very Seattle player. Do you remember who was it? Freiburg? Was that the name of the guy they had in Seattle?
No, you're talking about Gustav Svensson, I think, right? No.
Yeah, they had two Scandinavian guys. There's one Swede and another guy, and I can't remember the two guys' names, but both in the same mold. It's a very Seattle thing. This work hard, industrious midfielder.
You're so. I don't know what the word is. No, I don't know what the word is. Like I don't want to insult you, but it is.
Please.
You slot into this. I don't know. I want to say it's American, but I actually think that's unfair because we're not necessarily like that anymore. But you are so tied to these blue collar, bust your ass.
Have you watched MLS?
Now, I understand that, but it's just funny because we've had this discussion already. Like, when are we going to evolve past this? And Jared Dubois is like,
but no. There's no need to evolve past. This guy's playing for Borussia Dortmund with doing the exact same thing. What is wrong that we would do it here?
But he's also playing behind guys, that he's playing behind guys that can open up a defense. They didn't against Bayern Munich, but they can open up a defense. They find the keys to unlock what's going on defensively.
There's not a team in the world that doesn't need a person that can run hard defensively in the midfield.
I understand that, and I do respect it. I'm as in for an 8 and a 6 as anybody. I love those players, but I also realize that you have you can have the meat and potatoes, but you need some seasoning on top. Otherwise, you're going to get bored with that real fast, and not going to wow anybody.
What I'm saying though is Seattle has not since Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey have they had the meat, but the spiciness up front. Ladero's okay.
Jordan Morris isn't spicy.
I think Jordan Morris is good at what he does, but he ain't spicy. If anything, he's maybe coriander.
He's a nice oregano. No, that's
he's not going to overpower a dish. Let's put it that way.
He's a nice, yeah, exactly.
He'll compliment the dish, make it overpower it. But Seattle has had this type of player and had success with it, going all the way back to Ozzie Alonso. They've always had that kind of player somewhere in the midfield.
I'm not hating on your love of those players.
And it would allow Christian Roldan to go play a position maybe he's actually suited to.
I'm just saying it's very Jerry Dubois, very American of you to be falling in love with Thomas Delaney after watching a game featuring Bayern.
I'm sorry.
And
it's not the first time that someone that from Germany has named Thomas has impressed me in national team. Thomas Dooley. This guy's Danish though, but
he is Danish.
But someone told me that I can't remember if it was man, I'm trying to remember who was telling me. Miles. Christian Miles.
Robinson?
No, Christian Miles.
Christian Miles.
It might have been Christian Miles that told me that he had American possibilities as well.
Thomas Delaney. Well, he sounds like a guy who could do my taxes for sure. Like, yeah. The Bundesliga thing, obviously the Americans, and Tyler Adams played today and had a nice shift at right back again for Leipzig, although it
didn't start though, right?
He did start. He went 90 minutes.
He did start? Okay.
Yeah, but they dropped points again, so they're slipping in terms of the title race. It's all about Champions League, just holding on to that spot for them. Weston McKennie scored, but Schalke again.
Not his goal.
Not they're not good.
Are you surprised that David Wagner gives him the captain's armband when the captain left the field?
I did not know that happened. I think people love him. He's the American guy who busts his ass.
But if you're Wagner, doesn't it look like favoritism a little bit?
No, I don't, because I don't think David Wagner is thought of as American over there. In fact, if you say something about, the American coach at Schalke, the Germans will come at you hard and be like, he's not American. What are you talking about? That guy's not American.
You think Ernst Stewart put up the same thing when he was the general manager of, what was he the general manager of? Was it it was in PSV? What was it?
No, he was at AZ.
Alkmaar, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he brought in a ton of American. Josie Altidore was there. Was he there while Ernie Stewart was director of that team? Yeah. The thing about the Bundesliga, and Josh Sargent played a little bit, although, again, Werder Bremen's bad. It's really what the thing was everybody was talking about, Jared, was the crowd noise. Now, this had been going on for a little bit. On Sunday, they did it in the Mainz game. I noticed it. But it really came to a head with Dortmund and Bayern on Tuesday. Yesterday. Or Monday, sorry. That was on Monday. And people freaked out. They freaked out. Now, I put a poll up on my Twitter. It was completely unscientific. The majority of the people said they liked it. What did you think of it?
I loved it. I'll to be honest with you. For long stretches, I forgot that there weren't fans. For long stretches, because the camera is often cropped in a manner where you don't see the stands. And so I felt way more comfortable watching that game than any other minutes of Bundesliga. Like I said, I didn't watch a full match of any other Bundesliga game, but I watched minutes of other ones. I found myself more engaged, and maybe listen, it's Dortmund and Munich. Maybe that's the reason why I was so engaged. The first half alone was fantastic in that game. The whole game was pretty good, and so it was an attractive game to watch either way. But I found myself completely engaged and forgetting what was going on. Now, granted, I have no idea what those chants are. What they're saying, if they're appropriate for the times of the game that they're happening. Sure. I have no idea. And everyone laughed when a cheer went up when the Munich goal happened.
Sure. Well, there was also, for all of the maybe missteps, they also did an okay job. When Bayern had the ball, they played whistling. That's what the Europeans do when they don't like something. They whistle. So they did that. I actually was reading Derek Ray had a thread on this because there was an article in Bild about it. And he kind of explained this. So there's a sound engineer or producer who sits in the German Sky, the channel headquarters near Munich, and he's got mixer buttons in front of him, and he can play shouts, cheers, whistles, and goal celebrations relevant to each side. With the fan noise, it's a matter of using sound samples for previous games involving the two clubs, as well as recordings from past home games. So he is kind of...
So basically, they have a DJ.
It's like a MIDI keyboard. You know how they have those lit up MIDI keyboards?
Yeah.
And guys are playing, it's like that.
Hire a DJ. Just hire a DJ. Like every team should have their own DJ. And I don't like that there's a Bundesliga guy that's impartial that's doing it. You should have a fan next to that guy telling him what would be happening in the stadium in that moment if this was going on. There should be a fan DJ of every team.
I don't know if you want
and
that.
They do it.
I don't know if you want. Now, by the way, That sound is only for us. It's not in the stand. I mean, not in the stadium. The players do not hear it. They only hear the natural sounds of the game. What'd you say?
I think it's a loss.
Well, I don't know how the Bundesliga views this. Like, do they view teams being able to pump in the stadium their own crowd noise as some sort of competitive advantage? I mean, we've seen how there basically is no home field advantage right now in the Bundesliga. Yeah. Now, again, that might be the schedule. It might be the weird return. It might be the compact nature of the schedule.
Still, the stats don't lie. It's not looking good.
Well, I mean, it just shows you that the fans are a major part of this. And look, I had some people say that they really, really hate it. Our boy Phil Neasy, who doesn't use that handle anymore, I don't think, said he was embarrassed for the league, and he's a massive Bayern fan, but he was embarrassed for the Bundesliga that they did this. I don't know that I go that far. I don't know why you would be embarrassed by it. I can understand not liking it, and plenty of people didn't. So
here's the end. Because it's just well, let's take the stadium aspect out of it. Because like you said, not pumped in the stadium. It's broadcast only. Mm-hmm. The goal of the broadcast company is to get you to watch it. So if they feel they are building an experience that is going to get a greater chance of someone staying with it and engaged for their sponsors, then do it.
Maybe. I want to hear from people. 717-727-2378. If you're listening right now, call us up. Tell us what you thought of this if you heard the fake crowd noise for the Bundesliga games. You mentioned, that you forgot that there weren't fans. I never forgot. I never convinced. You
didn't find yourself so engaged you weren't thinking about it?
I was just, there were moments where I was watching the game and I'm hearing the crowd noise and I'm not consciously you're right. I'm not consciously remembering that there are no fans, but then as soon as I notice the crowd noise, I'll go, oh yeah, that's right. Those aren't real people, but I'm okay with suspending disbelief. And, Fox didn't give anybody a choice. They just played it. Whereas in Germany, you have a button. It's like SAP. You can push it to get it if you want. I don't know if there's any plans to do that here. Fox doesn't have many games left. They don't have much on the contract left because they lose it out. They lose it to ESPN next year. I'm okay with suspending disbelief. I mean,
here's the people that don't like.
If you go to the movies and watch Tom Cruise jump out of a helicopter, you're not like, he wouldn't really do that. He can't. Tom Cruise can't do. He
does do a lot of this stuff.
Well, he does some of them, but not in the way that Ethan Hunt's actually.
Point Break. I don't think they actually jumped out of a plane without a parachute on to go jump on the other guys and use his. But here's my thing. The people that don't like this might be the same people that are too scared to do role playing.
You mean in the bedroom?
Wherever you might do it. But I'm saying, like, you got to be able to embrace whimsy in your life. You got to be able to just let go and let something run its course and be imaginative.
You have to wait a second. Okay, hold on.
My wife's not really a French maid.
Damn, dog, that's inappropriate.
Does your wife
plays one on TV?
French accent? And by the way, is that your move?
Oh, it's bad. All my wife's accents. No, but don't ever ask my wife to do an accent. Every one of them turns out a very insulting Indian. Like it's her Irish, everything. Like it's bad.
Irish is easy. You just go like this. I'm a bit of Irish today.
It's easy for you, but my wife struggles. So she's never gonna do role play anything in that range.
I have an entry point. I do a couple of accents impressions. I don't do them professionally that often, but I have a couple, and I'll do them around the house. And I always have an entry point. Like you have to have a phrase. Like you have to have Angela. You have to have a phrase that gets you there. I mean, Angela is the phrase.
You gotta have a hook.
I always say Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. That's how you get into Irish. You say Jesus, Joseph, like that. And then then you cross yourself and you eat some potatoes, and there you go. That's how you do it. Maybe she should work on that. All right, okay, look, it's not for everybody. I wonder if MLS is going to do it. Or how they're going to handle the lack of crowd.
Listen, the Chicago Fire already does have theirs on repeat. It's just like a button they push every 5 seconds that starts back over again. Fire. I mean, good Lord. I would like a DJ just to scratch a record a little bit during that. Hit the fader or something.
Let me ask you. Okay, so here's a pick your poison for you, okay?
Yeah.
MLS comes back in the Orlando plan, which we're going to talk about here in a couple seconds because there's some developments in that. They come back with the Orlando plan. They're playing in basically what are high school soccer venues, right? There may be some stands, but we're talking about
Florida high schools are like college level, though.
What I'm just saying that this not a stadium, right? It's not like an enclosed building the way that Signal Iduna Park is or Allianz Arena are. These are not massive stadiums, and they're for the Bundesliga, they at least have the stadium backdrop, even if there are no fans in the building. So when they play the sound, it's not like you
That's
don't
almost. I don't know. It might take away from it more. Sorry, what's your question?
well, no, you don't see open grass on the other side of the field when the camera is, getting you the whole field shot.
Okay.
Where if Major League Soccer, they put these games on, they're going to put their cameras up on a pole, and you're not going to see anything. You're just going to see
So
grass.
what's the poison I'm picking between?
Do you want them to play crowd noise for fans that couldn't possibly be there anyway? And I don't know how they would even pick this. A DJ, the way you want a DJ doing that, or would you rather them go rock and jock basketball style and just play music the whole time, like we're in an arena watching Marky Mark make hoops?
Here's my thing. I was worried you were going to go the other way and tell me or nothing, because the direction I was going to go was like play freaking modern, like play music. Like,
yeah,
I like the idea of that. I've never understood.
By the way, you could sign up real DJs and artists to get you a playlist. Remember,
if it's a home game, you have your DJ.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, you have team DJs. Okay. If you're the home team, you're going to play the DJ of the music that you would play probably in your arena or something like that. Or that's like, if it's a Galaxy game, it's California based or something like that. If it's New York, it's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of 90s pop.
Biggie.
Okay. It's Biggie.
I've always wondered, like at sports arenas like that, you go to, for example, baseball. It's the organ. It feels like organ is sanctioned to be able to play during the games. There's like things that are allowed to be played when the ball is in play and when it's not in play. You go to a basketball game.
Yeah.
It's music, whistles blown. It's all of a sudden it's an organ.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand why at some point we said an organ is okay to play while the ball's in play, but music isn't. Just tradition.
You're right. It's wild. No,
it might be music licensing for the broadcast. That's the only thing I can think of.
I guess that's possible. Yeah, you're probably right on some level. They can't play the entire song. Jay-Z might sue them into oblivion, but yeah, I guess that's right. But I
would want music. Here's the thing. I would want pumped in crowd noise if you're playing in an arena where the noise would happen naturally anyway. So it makes no sense to put pumped in noise into a game that has no stands around it. It doesn't work.
That doesn't make sense. You're right.
I mean, you can play nature sounds or something. I don't know.
Like if I'm going to suspend my disbelief, let me suspend my disbelief with a stadium backdrop rather than.
That's why that's why the Munich and Dortmund game fooled me for stretches. Because I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't concerned with it. I was watching and engaged in the play. It was actually escapist to me.
Right. I agree. And that's what soccer sports are supposed to be. They're supposed to be escapist. They're supposed to be a distraction. Why not pretend to be like, I guess it's a matter of whether or not you think we can pretend to be normal, or if you're one of those people who are like, no, we have to remember all the times how weird this is. Like, I don't know where your joy levels.
I don't have any need to create content.
Again, maybe you want your wife to be a French maid. Maybe you don't want your wife to be a French maid. I can't tell you which way is best. Like I can't figure this out for you. You gotta maybe unclench every now and then. I think that's where we're at with this, right? Is that
if I unclench around the French maid, the feather duster falls out.
Okay. Nope.
Jay Rodius.
No. Don't need to know that. Too much. You
gotta get the bed clean somehow.
So Major League Soccer may or may not go with the Orlando plan, and they may or may not play music during the games, and they may not play crowd noise during the game. But they are upset that all of these details have leaked specifically to The Athletic. Don Garber issuing a threatening memo to the employees of.
Here's the thing: is this alleged or is there evidence
about the memo?
Yeah, I've only heard it talked about.
The Athletic got the memo leaked to them.
So, I know, but did they publish it?
They didn't publish the memo, but they published.
That's what I'm saying. So I haven't seen it. None of us have seen it, but supposedly it exists.
Okay. Major League Soccer Commissioner Don Garber sent a memo to all league and club personnel Friday, threatening employees with disciplinary action, including termination of employment and fines up to $1 million for leaking information.
You got to make money somehow. There's no game.
The memo basically says you're hurting our negotiations with the players when you do this. It could severely imperil the future of our league. Jared, that is,
severely imperil.
That's like telling your kid that if he doesn't, pick up his room, you guys might default on the house. Like that. That's like a big. I mean, I know that's not exactly the same thing, but I'm just saying this seems a little heavy-handed, right? Is this bad PR to have it leak?
I'll tell you who is not bad PR for The Athletic. That's fantastic PR.
Yeah, they're just gangster over there now. Yeah, congratulations.
By the way, here at The Athletic, our writers are so good at their job, the league fears them.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
they're the Washington Post of MLS.
There's a couple of things that come to mind. First of all, I get it from the league's perspective. Hey, if there's information like this out there when we're trying to work through all this in these unprecedented times, we may not be able to get the best possible scenario to come back. Okay. I understand that on some level, like from a business perspective. However, Major League Soccer has a history of trying to control the messaging way too much.
I was exactly what I was thinking, because for so long, MLS has been the key place to go for MLS news. And it probably still is, to be honest with you. But one of the complaints that's always been out there is that it was almost like the Iraqi Republican news. You know, it's like, okay, if the government owns the news, are you really getting the news that you're supposed to get? So now I think what they're seeing is that the Athletic has hired some fantastic talent.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, it's not even that. It's also just it's maybe that thing where they have their own editorial team and everybody can question, you know, how much do they,
some of them ex-MLS staffers,
how many freedom? Well, I'm talking about the MLS.com, MLS soccer.com people. Like, do they have freedom to do whatever they want, et cetera, editorial freedom? But there's also just a history of the league calling people up and saying, don't print that, or why are you saying that? I mean, again, like making it harder, threatening people, pulling credentials. The guy in Colorado got his credential pulled because he pissed off the coach. He was an MLSsoccer.com employee. He was writing about the team for the league website. But if you have editorial independence, we can't trust that they are free to write important things that may or may not be mean.
Someone has to put the fake news disclaimer on Don Garber's tweets.
Somebody.
No, I'm just kidding about that. But what I'm saying though is that I think part of this is an MLS kind of specific, or what in the past has been niche sports. I'll put soccer in that through the 80s and 90s. There was a all for one for all mentality in that if MLS wasn't willing to work with you as a journalist or an institution, that job probably wouldn't exist. You know, there were so few soccer writers, so little coverage that you needed MLS in order to actually have a job. You needed to have a good relationship. And I think there's growing pains going on right now where some of these institutions are getting big enough and soccer is getting mainstream enough that their job is going to be there, whether they have a decent relationship with the league or not.
I mean, in some cases, I mean, everything is media-wise, everything is contracting. People are losing their jobs left and right. But I think what you've got here is
but they're contracting to institutions large enough that they probably won't fail.
I suppose in some cases that's true, but as we saw with Grant Wall, just because you
that's not necessarily a Sports Illustrated specific thing. I have a feeling that someone there didn't get along with each other.
No, that's true. I mean, obviously there was, the people in charge at Sports Illustrated, whatever. I don't want to get into the politics of Grant and his situation with SI, but my point is that people could lose their jobs. And obviously the media has constricted to a point now where there are fewer outlets digging to maybe get to this information. However, the Athletic, as you mentioned, have hired really good, very good writers, very good reporters, guys who used to work at MLSsoccer.com in many cases, guys who have sources throughout the league and have built those relationships, and they're able to find this information. And again, it's kind of one of those things where I'm less ready to take a bat to Garber and the league for this reaction than a lot of people. I don't know that you should be threatening $1 million fines. I'm not sure that the tone is right for this internal memo or whatever. But again, you can't you can't.
There's a naivete here, though. Did you really think it wasn't going to get out? Did they really think this wasn't going to get out? And here's the other thing. Why not just go to the Athletic and say, hey, we need your help on this. We're working on this right now. We need your help on this.
Look, they wouldn't be the first organization to float something publicly through a leak in order to find out.
There's nothing to talk about. There's a bunch of soccer paid staff writers out there that have nothing to talk about. So of course they're going to be trying to get every crumb they can out of this negotiation. And guess what? It's giving the league space in these screens and tablets and everything like that in the meantime when there's absolutely nothing going on. So it's a bit disingenuous to say that you don't want the attention when you need the attention, but you're just not happy when it takes this form.
He also apparently in the memo said they have hired an outside firm to investigate the source of the leaks. Now, you think that's real? Do you think that's a threat?
White House.
If you don't get to bed right now, I'm going to tell Santa. Like, is it a little bit like that? Like,
I don't know what is. I have no idea what MLS makes their staff sign when they go there. Is the NDA that strong, or like that you can't put stuff out there?
He does say that he says that the league has the power. He has the power to discipline any MLS employee or owner as per the league's constitution. So
Deem a tackle to the shins.
Deem a tackle. I don't know. Again, I get why this looks.
I feel like if you strike them down, they become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And guess what? Whoever he fires, they're going to go to the Athletic and do the exact same thing to them again there, and they're going to take their same sources too. It's the machine's gotten too big at this point. I think, like, hey, do what you got to do. I get it. They have to protect their property.
Yeah, I know. Everybody is watching.
And lawyers, guns, and money.
Is watching their money. Everybody's got lawyers involved in everything now. We're all. Can we talk about any of this? Can anybody say anything? Again, this is partly because, and I was reading a piece at Hot Time in Old Town, which is the Chicago Fire blog at SB Nation. And it was written by a former investigative journalist. And he was basically saying the only reason for this to be leaked this way is that somebody is trying to twist the narrative a little bit, maybe because they don't think this is a good idea. Like maybe all of this is about whoever leaked it to the Athletic.
All Alejandro Bedoya pulling the strings behind the scenes.
I mean, I don't think Alejandro Bedoya is a mastermind.
Alejandro Bedoya had a point though, and I think you're hearing that the Players Association is making traction because all of a sudden it's gone from a 2 month to a 1 month. If you believe what was it? Who put it out today from ESPN?
Jeff Carlisle.
Jeff Carlisle put it out today.
Yeah, says that they may be contracting the schedule here because people are probably not.
It's a big ask. It's a big ask to tell people to spend 2 months away from their family and everything and risk. Because guess what? No one's got childcare.
No, but this is not. By the way, this is not about the rank and file. This is not about about the guy who's on 150K. This is not about the guy who sits the bench and gets 3 or 4 or 5 starts a year. This is about the stars. This is about those guys making the big DP money, Jared. This is about,
But unfortunately, this is Los Angeles.
Chicharito Hernandez.
I need more than talent.
Carlos Vela.
I need stars.
Those guys. It's about those guys.
Enjoy the party.
Because they're the ones who have said, we're not comfortable with this. And Vela's got a girlfriend or wife, sorry, who's pregnant. Chicharito Hernandez just had a baby. Even if you think he sucks, Jared, the league needs him on that field.
I understand.
So those are the guys that are pulling the strings here, really.
Yeah, and you're asking them to live like plebeians in a hotel room for 2 months. How are they going to? I mean, these guys have views that we couldn't afford in our entire lifetime.
How are they going to trade Malibu? Where I don't know where they live. Malibu for Orlando for a month and a half, 2 months.
Come on, even like probably the good part of Orlando. It's going to be the Hampton Inn Suites at Orlando.
Is there a good part of Orlando? Sorry, is that too far? Should I not say things like that?
I hear Epcot, the place where you can get 12 different countries' drinks in one.
Have I ever told you what happened when I went to Orlando for the All-Star game last year? Did I ever tell you this story?
No, maybe you did. I don't recall that.
Look, I hadn't been to Orlando. I had been to Disney World when I was a kid. I had gone through Orlando a little bit once or twice as an adult, but I hadn't been to Orlando. And I didn't know much about Orlando, but I'm going for the All-Star game for Major League Soccer. Yeah, go MLS All-Stars against who they play? Atleti, right? They got
Couldn't
crushed.
tell you.
And I get off the plane. My plane got delayed or something. I got in late, whatever. I always have to fly in late. And I get in and I get in the Uber and I'm going from the airport to the hotel. And I literally see every single chain establishment you could ever think of on this drive. And I tweeted something because, sometimes I'm a little bit of an asshole. So I said, hey, Orlando, you got all these chain restaurants. Like I've seen every single chain, and I got immediately attacked by like the Chamber of Commerce for Orlando, Florida. Hey, we've got good restaurants. You should check out downtown. I'm like, guys, chill out. I'm not actually hating on your town. I'm just making a joke that I didn't know I could go to a Bennigan's. I had no idea.
It sounds like MLS and Chamber of Commerce have the same structure for going after people that talk about them.
The same sensitivity.
The same bots that are patrolling
the
internet.
Lots of people in Orlando, food bloggers in Orlando. Okay, guys, I get it. You can't have soccer writers and broadcasters bashing your town because it hurts their numbers. I don't know. I don't know.
Speaking of like things that you have access to, I'm not sure if I like that Ford Madison jersey.
You're not a fan?
Everyone's wearing it.
This is just
everyone.
Okay, look,
Everybody's got it on.
this is you hating because you didn't get one. That's
No. This is me hating because I just don't know. That's just maybe I'm just too classic. That's too much for me. That look is too much for me.
This. You don't like the footy mob kit I got that they
What's
sent
that?
me.
Oh, is that the one that has the map on it?
No, it's got flower patterns on the
It's just too much for me. It's like someone threw up out of or like the Weird Al Yankovic's closet.
You sound like a man who has no flavor.
I like flavor.
Work a day running players who run all the entire game, put in a shift. You're like a guy who puts in a shift. You don't like a little bit of flavor in your jerseys. You don't like any.
I like flavor. Just I don't know. That's
like
just too much for me.
White kit, Jared, with a nice collar on it.
No,
like
I don't really like that either. But I don't know. That it's just too. I don't know. Maybe for a third kit. Is it their third kit?
It is their alternate. Yeah,
I'm okay with it. I'm okay. Third kit's anything can go.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Okay with the third kit.
Like,
I just don't think I could wear it in public. It's just I don't want that I don't want that much attention.
It's a gift. I got a gift from.
I know it's too much attention. I do too many stupid things. I can't have people looking at me.
Nah, man, well, okay. Well, that's a different. Maybe that's another adjustment you have to make in your life.
I don't want people to know I'm into soccer that badly.
Is that what it is?
Really? Don't you get embarrassed when you tell people you have a soccer show or a podcast? I get embarrassed when I talk about it. Like, I don't really want people to know. Like, that's something super nerdy.
Oh my God! What is happening? This is like you're turning into old man Jared Dubois before our eyes, and I don't understand what's going on here. I mean,
I don't know, man. Like
you're allowed to be comfortable in your life, Jared, but like you're disavowing anything exciting in terms of kit design. You're only falling in love with players who run hard. You don't seem to have any interest in anything exciting.
Missionaries are my only style these days.
No, I mean we talked about role playing in French maids, and now I think what's going on?
I have my wife role play as my wife. It's sad. I should admit it.
Like you've never met her before, like you're picking her up again for the first time. Yeah, what's up?
Call me Jared.
Yeah. So the NWSL has their plan to come back as well, Jared, and they're talking about Utah, and that's confirmed. This is happening now. You know. All right. So
it's interesting to see their model. It announced with major sponsors. PG, Procter & Gamble, Secret.
Verizon just signed up with them. Yeah.
Big. I mean, the big sponsor. I mean, I'm not sure what their contribution monetarily is to it, but I mean, I feel like they kind of like, I'm surprised they came together before MLS because their date is supposedly further out than when MLS's proposed date is going to be as well. I think they're talking about the 27th of June and MLS is talking about the 21st.
Well, MLS hasn't confirmed anything, right? And
that's from Carlisle's.
Even though they're talking it out, and even though they're changing up their plan because they had a rebellion in the ranks from the players, Major League Soccer hasn't got to a place of actually issuing a statement. Meanwhile, the NWSL is saying we're forging ahead, and they're forging. Now we talked about Carlos Vela, Chicharito Hernandez, those star players having power in MLS, and maybe not being happy with the Orlando thing, but NWSL is going forward. Now, they only have 9 teams. It's a much smaller pool of players. They're not paying their players nearly as much.
They said 2 hotel rooms to do the whole thing. 2 hotels to do the whole thing.
But they're also moving forward without 100% commitment from the U.S. women's national team players. Basically, they're saying, we're going to do this. The U.S. women's national team players will have the option to opt out. And I've seen that Richie Burke of the Washington Spirit says that his national teamers are going to play. Rose Lavelle is going to be there. That's obviously a big deal.
But why would they have the option to opt out? They're still members of the players' union.
No, they're their own separate. They're in their own union.
So I knew that the women's national team players had their own union, but I just assumed that they were also part of the NWSL. No. They're independent of that, then, huh?
Yes, they're independent.
The men's doesn't work that way, though, right? You're a member of both if you're in.
If you're what, in Major League Soccer?
Yeah, you have your member of the Players Association and that.
Yes,
I never realized that.
The reason it's different for the U.S. Women's National Team is because they're not paid by the NWSL directly. Or the clubs directly. They're paid by U.S. Soccer. U.S. Soccer pays their salaries to play in the NWSL.
Yeah, but for some reason, you would think that the bargaining and the rules that they have to play under would be the same, though. That's interesting. I'm not sure how that would work then. So. Okay, so basically they have the option of whether or not they want to participate in the camp. They can't make them do it.
They can't make them do it. For some details here, 9 teams going to Utah for the Challenge Cup. They'll play 4 matches apiece, followed by elimination games Every player in the league will be given the option. Every player in the league will be given the option to opt out. I mean, not just the U.S. Women's National Team players, although again they are separate from the body of.
Yeah, but what it doesn't talk about what's the alternative for a lot of these women? Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Your contract's probably going to be voided, won't it? Like, do you think there really won't be any kind of retribution, like financially, to not going?
I mean, if you go and you play, I mean, this is part of what the NWSLPA negotiated. That they negotiated guaranteed contracts for this. They negotiated health.
If you play,
I believe that's right. If you play, then all of those things are available to you. But if you don't play, obviously, I mean, actually, I don't know. I want to say obviously to anything because nobody knows nothing about any of this stuff, right?
It seems like it'd be easy to make the case that that you're asking me to do something that is from a safety reason, something I can't say yes to. Like, I feel like there's legal ground to that here, but I don't know. It's an interesting thing interesting time and interesting legal tightropes that we have to walk these days on these things.
This is another one of those situations where, the NWSL playing games is really important to the NWSL and its future and women's soccer, and I'm supportive of that. I think it kind of across the board with sports, I'm still like, I don't know. Are we really doing this? Is this really a thing we want to? The NHL has announced their tournament. They're going straight to the playoffs. They ended their regular season where they're at. They're going to go to a thing that's going to get everybody excited for a little while, kind of a short burst tournament. In terms of television for the NWSL, the opening game and the final will be on CBS. Everything else is going to be on CBS, digital, all access. I don't know, all that.
I have that.
Do you? Yeah, because you watch
Survivor.
Such an old man. What'd I say?
I make money at it. What do you want me to do? Like, you not make money?
No, I don't want you to not make money. I just want you to.
I play poker too. Is that an old man thing? I like to make money. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of an old man thing to play poker. It's kind of that.
Okay, so how do young people make money illegally? Sorry, I'll start selling weed.
Sell drugs. That's right.
Even that's legal now.
That's right. The weed is legal where you're at. For sure.
I'm gonna start having like bootleg soccer games for people to watch, like just like random like street players, and we play in a warehouse at night, like raves in the 90s.
If you treat the players, if you give them pro wrestling personas, and it's like 5-a-side, that would hit. That would hit. That would absolutely hit.
Speaking of wrestling, obviously we have soccer personas. Do you know what we don't have in our outline tonight? And I can't believe we didn't put in.
What outline? We have an outline?
Well, sorry, the couple topics that we talked about we might hit tonight. What we did not talk about, and I'm sure Nick is so happy we didn't.
Oh my God.
We didn't put Yap Stam in tonight's topic list.
And we didn't do it. He almost got through an entire show, head in hand.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
No.
Hello, gents.
Okay, so
wait, is that Nick or is that a guy that looks like Nick?
I'm a little mad you guys got the haircuts and I didn't. Thanks for the memo.
You could have gone
if Nick was have a doppelganger, who would it be?
Oh man. Oh my God, you're not gonna like the first name that came to mind.
Oh jeez.
I don't even know why.
Let's not do it then.
I don't think
Let's
he looks that much like him. I was gonna say Tom Arnold. Is that bad? Is that bad? Is that bad?
It's not good.
Okay.
I think he's far more dashing than that. I think you're far more dashing than that.
Okay. Who are we talking about here? No, let's not do this.
I don't know. Because I don't know who I look like. Well, I know I've been told I look like, but I don't know if
it's somebody that's gonna make you look. Is it somebody makes you look really good?
No, actually I don't think so.
Okay.
That's someone that's famous for looking stupid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've always got Jim Carrey.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to tell you.
Yeah, I can see it.
Maybe there's something there for Jim.
When I was substitute teaching, I had a whole school that called me Mr. Carrey when I would teach there.
Oh, okay.
All right. So anyway, Nick Superling, can you take me through the day in the life of a Cincy fan a couple days ago when your team puts out the wrong picture of Yap Stam in their announcement tweet?
I'm gonna say that I wasn't surprised.
Did you realize how did you see it before people realized it?
Yeah, I saw it and honestly thought it was him.
Okay.
Okay.
So now that I know afterwards, now I see it.
Nick Superling, a Manchester United fan who knows exactly who Yap Stam is, still didn't know the difference.
Well, okay, so here's where we have to figure this out, Jared. How much should we take FC Cincinnati apart for this, considering that there was a similarity and the photograph that they used for this graphic was a mislabeled photograph through Getty Images that said it was Yap Stam.
Okay, I give them a somewhat of a pass for that because if you do a Google like any image search and you put Sam, because here's the thing: is the person that's doing this, is it I don't even know if it's in house, if it's out of house, how they do it there.
Yeah.
If it's in house, I feel a little bit worse because you should probably be soccer fans if you're working at the soccer.
I think it's in house in their house. Like obviously they're not working. They're working. From
Here's
home.
the other thing that I thought about it. Thank God they didn't hire a black coach.
Oh my God! Why did you
Could
have
you
to
imagine
go there? Like, why is that even We didn't have to go in that direction of what if they did this.
Do you want my natural how I reacted to it in my brain, or do you not want me to say how I thought of it in the moment?
You do make a point that if they
you mess up two white dudes looking alike. I mean, okay, if no one's going to be that bad, it's all funny.
And I'm only vaguely attached to this because my internet engagement has been a little down. Isn't there a thing going on right now where somebody thought Bokeem Woodbine was Dave Chappelle? Didn't that just happen?
I know who one of those people is.
Okay. Okay.
Never mind. My old thing again. Do I not know who this is?
No. Bokeem Woodbine is an actor. He's been around. You know who this is. Like you've seen him before. Anyway, the thing with,
I think in the end, since he made out in this.
Well, this is where I'm going. Okay. And it kind of works with the fact that Yapstam and the other guy kind of look like Telly Savalas playing Blofeld. Like it kind of
like villains. Yeah.
They look like villains. Was this just an evil genius move on the media people, at the graphics people, the PR people?
No one in Cincinnati is that savvy. If they're that savvy, they'd be in New York.
Conventional chess. Were they smarter, Jared? Maybe they were smarter than you think. Maybe they had a plan all along, because guess what? They trended and they were everywhere. And this was picked up by all of the papers in
Europe. If they were that ahead of the game, their jersey wouldn't look like that.
I don't know. Why are you hating on a jersey?
He's right.
Okay.
The jersey this year is not good. It looks like a medieval tunic. It's not good.
If they were that ahead of the game, Jeff Birding never would have been the general manager of FC Cincinnati, and they probably wouldn't have let Alan Koch be the head coach of FC Cincinnati.
Here's the thing. I still stand by being a good hire. I like that Yapstam's coming in for no other reason that there's so much flavor in that man. I'm gonna love watching him in the sun. I want to watch Thierry Henry coach against Yapstam, and all I want is a coach's cam in the corner the whole time.
That's okay. I actually think that's going to be fun too. But is that just going to be a lot of like
Arsenal versus Man U
versus Manchester United, and everybody who talks about that game is only going to be focused on history for those two guys as players?
Here's the thing: it's up to the players on the field to make a game that's more attractive than that storyline.
I will say that as much as I respect Montreal as a cultural hub and I like the Francophone thing and all of that, we're not talking about the sexiest teams in the world, Montreal and Cincinnati. So maybe you do need that extra flavor there coming from the history.
I don't know. My man was starting hot up there in the Quebecois.
Quebecois. He did have it going. Sacre bleu. He did have it going. Up there.
I feel bad for Montreal and I feel bad for Kansas City, because those two teams were looking. Kansas City, like I told you, I thought he looked fantastic to start the season. And so here's the thing they talk about with this Orlando thing too, that there's going to be a 3-game tournament potentially with playoffs afterwards, and those 3 games count towards the regular season.
Yeah, that's wild.
So that means we're going to have 5-game season because they've played 2 so far, or they played 3 games. They played 3 games, right?
Nobody knows nothing about nothing. Okay, this is, I'm serious. They are making this up. This is Calvin Ball. Now everybody jokes about MLS being Calvin Ball with the roster rules and the salary cap and all of that. You know Calvin and Hobbes? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so Calvin would play this thing called Calvin Ball, where literally he just made up the rules as he went along.
Oh, okay.
If I touch the green zone, I get 12 points. And people are like, the green zone? Like, well, it was just him and the Tiger.
Okay.
So Calvin Ball is literally, there are no rules. You make them up as you go along. MLS has always been guilty of that, especially when it goes to the LA Galaxy. So
you mean bringing in franchise players that makes the whole world pay attention to the league? Yeah, you're right.
But when they're bending over backwards, when they're bending over backwards for one team, it does make it look a little unfair. But this is what this is. This is Calvin Ball. This is, are we going to play a tournament? Okay, what's it going to be formatted? 4 teams, pods? Who's seated? Who's not? Where are they going? Is it one place? Is it 2?
Dude, how much would you like to see the whiteboard in the room where they sat down one day and they said, okay, listen, there's no such thing as a bad idea. Give me every piece of crap you have or how we can handle this season. Like, what does that room look like? What do the whiteboards look like?
We've already given them, look, I mean, play on the field, the format of the tournament, stuff like that. That's a thing for sure. But we've already given them some ideas. Like we've already thrown out, get a DJ, play a playlist, that goes with the team. Like I don't know. There's lots of things that they could do on
have an and one announcer on the field.
Absolutely, you should have an and one announcer. I don't know why you. You just. Somebody got
Weston McKennie this weekend was deserving of an baby. Today.
You're bestowing. It's been a while. It's really, really been a while.
There hasn't been a damn goal in the world for like a couple months.
Okay. I mean, there's been some good goals, but not from Americans that deserve to know baby. So there.
Yeah.
Thank you to Weston McKennie for bringing that back. Speaking of Americans in Germany, now we don't give him a lot of time and attention because, well, he melted in Honduras. You have a grudge against him for that. But Timmy Chandler scored a goal for his team, comes off the bench. He's playing more of a winger position now. He's not necessarily playing that fullback position that we know and love him
defensively handicapped is what they're saying.
A little bit deficient. I don't think you should use that word. I think you should use deficient. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're bad. Exactly. We found something out. Actually, you saw this and tweeted it, and my mind was blown by this. Jared, what?
Yes, as was mine.
What you found out about Timmy Chandler?
That there is a person that kind of put out there that amongst his locker room and his teammates, they referred to him as J-Lo because of the size and shape of his behind.
He got some junk in the trunk.
Yeah, so they call him J-Lo. He's Jenny. He's Timmy from the block.
He's Timmy from the block. I don't know what to make of this, man.
I guess I hadn't ever really noticed because soccer players kind of naturally have that anyway. So if you're known as that amongst soccer players, that means you really got it.
Who should be more offended, J-Lo or Timmy Chandler?
Oh, J-Lo.
J-Lo should be way more offended, right?
Yes, because her head isn't a geometric shape.
What shape is it? How many sides does that have? My kid's learning that stuff now. Is it a?
He's very rhombus. It's a four-sided shape that's not squared up.
Okay, that's what a rhombus is?
I believe so.
If I
remember. My kid's doing geometry right now too, so I corrected it the other day.
Mr. Carey's giving us some information.
I believe so. Yeah, according to Mr. Carey, that's what the lesson.
A rhombus. An irregular.
Oh, Nick just looked it up.
Would you like a definition?
Yes, please.
All right, let me get
Nicky
situated
Soup and
here.
Sausage chiming in with the.
Wait! I just found it right here. It says the shape of Timothy Chandler's head.
No. In a plane Euclidean geometry, a rhombus is a quadrilateral whose four sides all have the same length. Another name is the equilateral quadrilateral, since equilateral means that all of its sides are equal in length.
So it's a quadrilateral, not an equilateral.
What's the difference between a quadrilateral and an equilateral?
Not all sides are the same length.
I've been working my quadrilaterals. Do I need to be working?
Does it have a picture of one? Does it have a picture of one?
Do we need?
It's like a diamond.
Okay.
It's bright it sounds bright like a diamond. Timmy Chandler's head is a diamond. That's what you're saying now? Like,
no, I'm not saying that.
I think all I'm saying is that it's got four sides and it's super weird.
Okay. But the other end of Timmy Chandler is the end we're focusing on now. That's the J-Lo.
He's got Franchino butt.
That is as nicknames go, and as somebody who's never really been saddled with a bad nickname, like that seems pretty rough if you're in a locker room situation. I mean, look, J-Lo is fantastic. She's superstar. She's killing it at 50 or whatever she is. Who knew?
Start the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, she looks amazing. I mean, it helps when they have a nutritionist and 3 different trainers and a home gym and Alex Rodriguez with his steroids standing by at any moment for you.
He has an empire of gyms.
He has an empire of gyms?
I believe he has a gym chain now. Yeah, he has a bunch of different stuff. You haven't seen him on Shark Tank? Or is that another old thing I watched?
I don't like him. He's so fake, man. I mean,
come on. Is there a celebrity that's not fake?
Paul Rudd.
There's something he's doing something fake for his face not to change over 30
Well,
years.
that might be true. He's got the Fountain of Youth. I just saw a new movie with Paul Rudd.
Ooh, what's that?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's weird. It's I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. I'll have to find the name of the movie. But he plays this.
Well, that was a conversational cul-de-sac.
I can't remember the name of it, but I'm going to tell you about the movie.
Nicky Soup and Sausage is on the ones and twos figuring it out for us.
That's why we got Nicky Soup and Sausage, right? That's why he's there to do this research for me because my brain is going. He plays a guy who's obviously dealing with some stuff in his life who decides to be a caregiver. Like he goes to a class to learn how to be a caregiver.
Okay.
And he gets hired to take care of like a 16-year-old kid, who has MS or something that
So it's an upper.
The kid is an acerbic English kid because we don't have enough of those on Netflix these days, right?
Okay.
And of course they battle because the kid hates life, but he's he makes jokes, but he does it because he hates his situation.
Who he really is and the pain inside.
And then Paul Rudd gets mad at him and says, "You don't live your life. You sit here and you eat waffles and watch TV all day." And then he takes him on a road trip.
By the way, this should have been totally enough time to vamp to get Nick to get the name.
I don't know. Selena Gomez is in this movie cursing up a storm, which is interesting because I had never been exposed to Selena Gomez cursing. And she's talking about interesting faces. She's got one of those. Like it's Timmy Chandler's is a rhombus. Selena Gomez is a perfect circle, like a perfect circle.
Is this the fundamentals of caring?
It is the fundamentals of caring. Thank you, Nikki.
Couldn't find that on IMDb, but thank you for your context clues. That certainly helped.
I don't. It was weird. It was weird because I had seen him in that show where he played himself, 2 versions of himself with the cloning situation. I didn't stick with that. You stick living with yourself. Did you stick with that one?
I did.
What do you think?
I loved it. It was good. I thought it was really good.
Nick has seen it. I don't need to see it.
That's cold, man.
Damn, dog. That's in a props.
Cold.
I mean, and we share a little dicky. I mean, that sounds weird to say, but
you don't share a little
dicky or two.
You don't.
I don't know if they're little.
I mean, I don't even know where to go with that one. I mean, this is the thing about Dave. The thing about Dave is we can't really dive fully into the thing about Dave.
Oh, I would love to. We just need to have a Dave.
You know
maybe the bonus show will be nothing with Dave.
That's the bonus show. We just figured out what the bonus show is for tonight. Unless anybody wants to jump on with us, we're gonna have.
So you're gonna finish.
You're gonna listen to the podcast.
Well, okay.
We'll talk through the point he's at.
You guys can't hold back on the spoilers for me. Like,
you
don't care about me as a human
So what we're gonna do? You listen to the show, okay? For all of the Patreon members, if you're not one, go to patreon.com/JD and the Rod. Get in, and then listen to the bonus show. You need to watch episodes 1 through 5 because that's where Jason left off, right?
I believe it was 5. It may have been 6.
4-ish to 5, somewhere. Okay, somewhere in that range, and then enjoy the bonus show.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll, there's going to be some other stuff in the bonus show too. I'm sure we'll throw some stuff on top of that stew or whatever. We'll mix it up a little bit. We'll throw some. Jared doesn't like any flavor in his life, but we're going to throw some on there anyway.
I just like certain flavors.
Do you use cumin? Do you use chili powder? Do you enjoy a paprika?
Cumin and paprika were 2 of the things I put on my lamb chop.
You put some cumin and some paprika.
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear.
I enjoy flavor.
I was concerned.
But I just don't enjoy like a throw up tie-dye jersey.
It's not a tie. It's not a tie-dye.
I don't know what that
drip
is.
Kit, Jared, get on board with the drip kit. Okay.
Oh, sorry. My outfits don't drip enough.
Apparently not. Yeah.
Listen, I love Ford Madison. I love most stuff they're doing. That one just didn't appeal to me. I'm sorry. I just not my thing. But as a third kit, do whatever you. I think third kits are no holds barred. You can do anything you want with a third kit.
I will say, just because I think it's important, I want to thank Ford Madison for sending me this jersey. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. It's why I'm wearing it on the show tonight, to show it off because I love it so much. Please continue to send me free things.
No, here's the thing. I'm just mad at you in general because listen,
you
took every scarf down to take this grand gallery of scarf pictures you took, right? It took like 4 panels on Instagram to swipe through to get through all of them. And then you had to put 6 of them back up. And guess which one you put up? And you put right in plain view over your shoulder to troll me the whole damn episode.
No. Okay. I swear this is what happened. So I put all of those scarves in a place to display them. I wanted to put them on Instagram. I never had them displayed in one place before.
I have a place where you can store that one, the fireplace.
Oh, I thought that was going in a much darker direction than that. I didn't know you were talking about feather dusters earlier.
No.
Okay. I wanted to display them all, and then tonight I was getting ready for the show. And I was like, I don't have them I don't have any scarves for my backdrop, and it's just a terrible wall. I didn't want to leave it up, I didn't want to leave it plain. So I grabbed a couple, and then my kid, I thought I had enough. My kid grabbed 5 and was like, here. And I was like, I don't think I need those. And then I realized I did.
And then he's like, ow, this one burned my hand. What is this the devil scarf?
The ones I passed over in order to put up that LAFC scarf that you hate so much are save the crew. No, this is just crew. This is just a crew scarf. I have the save the crew right there. Oh, nope, right there. But that way. And then this is just a crew scarf. I passed on that one.
There's a collar on. Maybe they want to talk about your scarf collection as well.
This is a terrible Colorado Rapids MLS Cup champion
scarf. The one you got up there
from 2000. It's terrible. You don't want that one.
Crew stuff behind you. Come on, dude.
Okay, well, send me some FC Cincinnati stuff. What can I tell you? I don't have
plenty of scarves I can send you.
I don't have. What is up here? I got Louisville City.
Like
LAFC.
you don't know.
Oh,
like
you
don't
Louisville
know
and
exactly
Columbus?
that one that over your
Yeah,
shoulder.
Louisville and Columbus, just to hate on you.
We got your Portugal one you got just today.
I got the Cosmos. You had the Benfica one that just arrived the other day. Just came. Somebody wanted to send me another one after I put up the scarf wall. Continue to send me scarves. I will put them in my display.
Hey, could you rotate a couple of those out?
I got a Globe Pub one from Chicago. That's pretty cool.
You can't see right here, but above me is my Asbury Bad Religion one. I just put. It's the only scarf I've.
It looks like what is happening there. It looks like.
Here's the thing: there were nails in the wall because there were pictures here, and we took them down. And so I didn't like the way the nails looked in the wall, so I put the scarf over the nails just to cover them.
Here's the thing: do I need to engage in some charity and send you some scarves for your wall?
No, I don't want to be the guy with scarves. I really don't want to be the guy with a bunch of scarves.
What do you want to be the guy? What do you want to have then, Jared? Come on, tell me. Let's go. Come
on. Let's see. I'll take the guy with a lot of cleats. I would love some cleats.
Cleats.
Yeah, sure.
Who are you, Willie Mays Hayes? What are you going to do with? How are you going to display them?
I'll take some. I'll take some. What else? What can I get?
You need to put a couple shelves up, and we'll send you some knickknacks. We'll get some bobbleheads in there. We'll get some, we'll get some fake trophies in there. Maybe little miniature MLS.
Hey, I feel bad we never took our caller.
We have a caller.
Man, you're really bad at reading the signs.
It's only been a couple.
And plus, I told you there was one.
Frank in the OC. You were hating on me for my scarves. I was distracted. Frank, go ahead.
Flailing about defensively.
I'm always in a crowd.
I don't know why you guys hate on the scarves or in Jason's shirt. I think the shirt looks good. It kind of looks like a weird version of like Jorge Campos and that weird
the Predator jersey
or US shirt.
The Predator jersey. Look, just because you don't like color in your life and can't see it, Jared. I mean, just because you can't.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a colorblind man, so maybe like my sensibilities are off. It just, like I said, if that shirt's walking down the street, there's no way people aren't looking at me, and I just want to be more under the radar than that.
I completely forgot about the colorblind thing, and I'm not going to. I don't know what to say about it because I don't know how far I can go without making you feel really bad.
So why don't you not pick on the handicap kid for a second?
Well, just know where your limits are, Jared. Maybe you shouldn't talk fashion because you just don't have the equipment necessary to determine what looks good.
Do you kick walkers out from old ladies too? What is?
You are old. You've already established that. Let's be careful. I mean, I do get to play the young guy, the young pup.
Frank, did you only come on to defend Jason?
Yeah, Frank. What do you got?
Yeah, I have to defend the shirt. I mean, it's a good shirt. I mean, that's all I got. Shit.
If Frank's gonna put up his email address, we're representing from Forward Madison. Wait,
stop. It was Frank who called us last week in the midst of him trying to execute a plan. Right?
That's right. Hey,
Frank,
how'd that go, buddy?
You told us you got shut down. We found out you got shut down. What happened? Tell us what happened.
All right. I don't know how deep I can go, but I mean.
Talk quietly.
Okay, so I finished the call, right? All right, so I finished the call. I go back downstairs. You know, there's a little bit of kissing and like I'm making out. And like, she asked me like, okay, what were you doing? And in the hindsight, it's my fault.
You're honest?
You didn't lie?
I told her. So I told her like, yeah, I've had to call a couple dudes, and then like she kind of like lost, you know, the feeling, and then it just faded away, and then that was my night.
Okay,
man.
Jared, this is how I know Frank is not in a committed, long-term married relationship, because if you are interrupted, if there's a moment where things might not feel the same, you power through because you might not get it.
Have you ever played the game Tomb Raider? Like, has a series of pitfalls and traps that you have to make it through, and at the end of it, there's a reward. That's how relationships are. You need to learn where the pitfalls are so you can hit the double jump.
Yeah. You at no point should you have admitted to doing anything other than thinking about her. Okay, that was your number one mistake.
At the worst case, you could said you were like rubbing one out so you'd last longer.
Well, I think that may have freaked her out. I don't know that that's necessarily a good piece of advice.
Okay. All right, maybe not.
I mean, you maybe
my temperature could be off there.
You may say you're being considerate, but again, I think that might be a little bit too far. It might be just a little too much.
I'm not even sure that that's a thing.
Sure it is. What are you talking about?
But you've never been on a big first date?
Oh my gosh, man!
Wait, you've never seen something about Mary?
You never leave one in the chamber before you take on that. Okay,
You can watch something about Mary.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, Frank. Thank you for the details. Sorry about your luck. Thank you for the phone call as well, man.
All right, later, guys.
Later, Frank. Frank in the OC.
Man, I feel bad, but also that's stuff of legend.
That's we have to go out on a high with that. All right, so we're gonna wrap up this edition of JD and the Rod. Now, again, Jared already mentioned the Patreon. That's where you go get the bonus feed, so you can listen to us talk about Dave and play games. And I don't know, there's a lot more Nikki Soup and Sausage on that show, and that's always great. So do that. Patreon.com/JD and the Rod. We are on iTunes. Please give us a rating and a review. Jared, I didn't check to see if there were any new reviews to share.
Nor did I.
But keep doing that because it helps us out. We creep into the top 50 or whatever it is soccer podcast, but we're not.
If only there was a more search engine optimized name we could go under.
If only there was a name that would help people find us easier than the name that we're currently using. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we can find something, Jared. Maybe we'll figure out. We'll brainstorm.
Nikki Soup and Sausage Show. That'll bring everyone to the brings all the milkshakes, boys. Wait, all the boys to the yard.
Oh my God, you butchered that so bad. I'm not even letting it finish. All right, so that's iTunes, and then obviously Twitter, YouTube. Please go subscribe to us on YouTube. I forgot to mention that last week. We need to get up our subscription numbers so we can get the right URL. Yeah, that's where we're at with that. Helps us out. Helps out Nikki Soup and Sausage, who hates having ZYX23749LB in our URL for YouTube.
Don't actually type that in.
Yeah, no, that's probably porn. There's very good chance.
Probably
porn. Yeah, I mean, most things on the internet are porn.
I think any random generation of letters and numbers leads you to porn these days. And some of them that are right, All
right, Jared Dubois, anything else? Anything else to share with the people? Pearls of wisdom, life lesson.
Man. Trust your wife to cut your hair. See what happens. Trust her.
Do that. Yeah, do that. Nick, I think that's a message for you. All right, we're going to get out of here. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Get to the chopper!
Danger zone!
I wouldn't be caught dead in a sweater vest.
Oh, how did I spend that much money? Who asked those questions?
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 35, 45 minutes.
Eddie, what have you done for me lately? It's incredible!
Damn, dog. Damn, dog. That's in a pro.